Alright, you guys, welcome back to the channel. Here for some more Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. Today we have some very interesting news to go over. Now, I do want to say this isn't coming from an official source such as the developers of the game, DIMS, or even the publishers, Bandai Namco. They didn't release a trailer with secret information. However, this exclusive info is coming from Geekdom 101. So yesterday, he went ahead and did this live stream with Slow Plays, and they revealed more details about the game. I will have the live stream linked down below in the description if you guys would like to watch it in its entirety. But we're just going to be mainly taking bits and pieces, going over the highlights, things that you need to know about Xenoverse 3. Now, I guess you could say this is going to be covering some slight spoilers, so if you don't want to know anything that's not officially revealed by Bandai themselves, then go ahead and click off the video now. I also want to say, take this with the smallest grain of salt just because Geekdom is getting this additional info from his inside sources. Now, I'm not trying to discredit any of them, of course not. I actually believe that Geekdom is giving us new info in regards to Xenoverse 3. It's your choice to believe them or not, up to you, but I highly doubt that Geekdom 101 would just come out and spit out lies about the game, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So, back in April, he actually knew about this for a very long time. I think actually in February of 2026 is what he said during the live stream. He put out this tweet. It's in regards to Xenoverse 3, and it says, "Can you solve the riddle?" And then we have this hidden message, fill in the blank type thing. And people in the comments actually made some very close guesses, like PokeMixer said True Gods of Destructions. We have Saiyan Beast who made multiple guesses, and he actually got it right. And the Geekdom responded with very good guesses. So the major reveal during the live stream, there's going to be new time gods of destruction. Xenoverse 3 will be introducing these new characters. And by the sounds of it, it sounds extremely epic to me. It also makes a little bit of sense because if we go back to the anime, we have the Supreme Kai, Shin, or his official name now, thanks to Daima Nahare. He's somewhat linked to the actual God of Destruction. If the Supreme Kai dies, then Beerus would die, right? They kind of coexist with each other. If there's a Supreme Kai, then there's a God of Destruction. So I guess you could technically say they could follow that same formula within the Xenoverse series. We know that there's a Supreme Kai of Time. Her name is Chronoa, right there up on screen. So it makes sense to me that there would be an actual Supreme God of Destruction or a Time God of Destruction. That is a cool addition to the entire Xenoverse lore, if you ask me. Xenoverse 1, we didn't get to see a Time God of Destruction. Xenoverse 2, nowhere to be found. So Xenoverse 3, apparently, we're going to be getting these new characters, and I am looking forward to this. Just getting that alone is top tier stuff. Now, we're actually going to be playing some bits from the interviews, and this is what he had to say.
Xenoverse 3 is going to introduce Time Gods of Destruction. So, I don't know if they are the main villains of the game, but a number of Time Gods of Destruction, like legit, they're just like the Gods of Destruction we know of, Beerus and Champa, except they destroy timelines. They are a major factor of the game.
He does say that there's going to be a number of these Time God of Destructions. I believe later on in the actual live stream, he says there's about 4 of them that he knows of. Maybe even 5, because there's like a leader or maybe a fuse warrior of all 4. Don't know exactly just yet, but there's multiple of these Time God of Destructions. Now, he doesn't necessarily know what roles they'll be taking part of in the actual game. However, I feel like they're going to have an important role just because Xenoverse, as we know, that involves time traveling. Just take a look at Xenoverse 1 and 2. I know that we're not time patrollers now anymore in Xenoverse 3. We're going to be part of the Great Saiyan Squad. But I'm sure later on in the game, we'll have actual time elements, and these new beings are going to be part of that. Don't know if they're going to be heroes or at least good guys, villains. We could be teaming up with them, could be fighting against them. We have no idea. Maybe they're going to be neutral, something similar to Beerus, where he's not a good guy or a bad guy, but they destroy actual timelines, which is insane if you ask me. They're like a step above the actual God of Destructions, where they just destroy stars, planets. But now with these time God of Destructions, they literally eradicate entire timelines. What?
Prior to starting the stream, I showed Slow what they look like, but I cannot publicly show it because it would constitute it being an internal leak, and I'm not going to leak that. I'm just not going to do it because it's wrong.
Both Geekdom and Slow Plays have seen these unique designs for the new beings. However, I completely understand why Geekdom doesn't want to reveal any of the actual designs, because it's probably not his place, and two, he could get in trouble, and it's just wrong, as he said. Completely understand that. As I mentioned before, just getting the new reveal of these time God of Destruction is good enough for me. However, Geekdom does describe how these new characters look like.
And I'm gonna also tell you this. I've seen what they look like, and Slow's seen what they look like. They basically look like dinosaurs. It's weird, but they literally, I'm talking about, I want you guys to picture a Triceratops with like a God of Destruction, what do you call it, the robe? They wear the Egyptian clothes, but the symbol looks like a clock.
He says that these time God of Destructions are going to look like dinosaurs, which we have seen humanoid dinosaur characters before in the manga and anime. This is one of the characters from the Pride Trooper Squad, Xenoverse 11. Don't necessarily know his name. I believe it starts with a V, like Phoenix or something like that. And the Barbarians, right? So just picture these humanoid dinosaurs with the Egyptian God of Destruction attire that you see Beerus is wearing on the right side of the screen. And instead of the diamond symbols, you see he has a 3 over the robe and 1 over the shoulder pads. Replace those diamonds with a clock. Could be a Xenoverse time nest clock with the gears, something along those lines. We do have Supreme God of Time, who's actually playable in the game. You can see that she's literally summoning a clock just because that's her whole thing, time. Same thing goes with these time God of Destructions. And the image at the bottom right corner of the screen, when you first boot up Xenoverse 2, you can kind of see this shape of a clock or gears, whatever it may be, right? So I'm just trying my best over here to give you guys a visual of how these new characters could look like. So humanoid dinosaurs like the Barbarians with the Egyptian God of Destruction attire. Change the diamonds over to the actual Xenoverse clock. And Geekdom also mentions that one of them, at least, is going to look more like the Triceratops, which is going to be the blue dinosaur in the middle with the 2 horns. Kind of cool design already, even though I don't know how they look like, haven't seen them. And Slow Plays actually says how another one of the characters are going to be looking like.
One of them looked like a pterodactyl, kind of like the head.
The long,
Yeah.
A Triceratops and a Pterodactyl, which is going to be the blue winged dinosaur on the far right. You know, dinosaurs, they've been a part of Dragon Ball ever since the very beginning. I think it would be kind of cool if one of them looked like a T-Rex, which I believe is going to be the green dinosaur on the far left. Geekdom also says that they're going to have transformations, or at least multiple forms.
They all have 2 forms. Each one has 2 forms. Listen carefully. Listen carefully, all right? I'm not done yet. They all have 2 forms. One of their forms look like Agumon, like Digimon little dinosaurs, right? The second form is like a fully grown, like anthropomorphic dinosaur with arms and legs and shit.
One form, they look like chibis. They're like mini versions. It's weird.
almost
I
like
don't know.
almost like they're cute, and then they transform into these monsters.
Yeah.
Each time God of Destruction will have 2 forms. I'm assuming the base states as well as the transformation. Geekdom then said one of the forms will kind of be a miniature version of itself. Slow said it's kind of like a chibi version, which I think is kind of cool. And then the actual second form will be more of that anthropomorphic / humanoid aesthetic with arms and legs, which is bizarre in terms of the power scale of things. I know they're on a separate league from the rest of the characters, but Beerus and Whis, they're like the stronger characters in Dragon Ball Super. Of course, underneath Zeno and the Grand Priest, but now we have the Time God of Destructions with 2 forms, a potential transformation. How strong are these beings? Probably on the same tier as the Supreme Kai of Time. To be fair, I don't know how strong she is or how she scales in the pecking order of things. It probably goes Zeno, Grand Priest, and then Time, or Whis, the angels, and then Time God of Destructions. They're probably like the 4th highest in terms of the rankings. I'm just guessing over here. I know absolutely nothing.
And there may actually be a fusion of all 4 of them, because I have another image of a black one that looks to be either a fusion or a leader. I didn't mention that earlier, did I? You remember that one, right? The one that looks evil?
Yeah.
Earlier in the video, I did mention that Geekdom knows about 4 of them, but there's actually a 5th, and this one seems a bit different from the others. He says that he has more of this evil appearance, and he's not entirely sure if he's going to be a fusion of all 4 Time God of Destructions, or if this is going to be like the head kingpin, like the leader of the 4, which I can kind of see that there being ranks within the Time God of Destructions. There's like the baddest of them all that kind of tells them what to do in terms of destroying the actual timelines. That's still bizarre to me, man. These guys can destroy and eradicate timelines. It's so cool.
I'm gonna be real with you guys. I don't have details. I don't know if they're the actual main villains, but it seems like they're heavily involved in the story, and you may actually be helping them with the Great Saiyan Squad or whatever. So
again, he doesn't have all the details, but what he shared so far is top tier stuff, if you ask me. So we don't know what roles they're going to be taking in Xenoverse 3. They could be villains, they could be on the neutral side of things, heroes, we could be tagging alongside them, or even go up against them. But we do know that they're going to be a prominent part of the story. They're going to be a main element.
are you allowed to say if they were designed by Toriyama? I was not told, but I will tell you this. It looked a bit more like a Toyotaro design, honestly. But I wouldn't be surprised, because we recently found out that Toriyama did a lot of designs for this game.
I'm more inclined to believe that these new beings or characters were designed / created by Akira Toriyama, just because it's been said many times before that Akira was heavily involved with this game, which is like the most time he's ever put in a Dragon Ball game, right? Before this was Dragon Ball Online, where he worked on that as well. But we have this article, a brand new Dragon Ball world, and its entirely original characters, all brought to life by Akira Toriyama. Now, Geekdom did say that the art style was a bit more similar to Toyotaro. We don't know for sure. Again, wait for the actual official details. But if I were to take a guess, according to what they've been saying this entire time, this is coming from the official Dragon Ball games, character designs by Akira Toriyama, it says right there in the second paragraph. And even the third paragraph, new and more unique characters will be introduced as the adventure unfolds.
Will there be an angle for the Time Destroyers? I don't know if he means like a storyline angle, but
I think he meant angel.
Oh, angel! Like a time angel?
Yeah, because they have God's destruction. You gotta have the angel, right?
I don't know. I didn't even think of that.
That one user brought up a good point, and what Slow Plays also mentioned, with every God of Destruction, there's also an angel. And something that I mentioned at the start of the video, the Supreme Kai, right? We already have her, Kai of Time, Xenoverse 2, Chronoa. So it makes sense for these new Time God of Destructions to be a thing. But what about the angels? I feel like they should also be a thing if we're just following the normal Dragon Ball Super formula, where there's a Supreme Kai, there's a God of Destruction, whereas there's a God of Destruction, there's also an angel. Does this mean there's going to be a Time Zeno and a Time Grand Priest? I don't know, man. It can just keep on going on and on. If they really wanted to create all those, then I'm sure it could happen. But so far, we just know of these Time God of Destructions. Slow Plays actually brings up a funny theory. Now, he mentioned during the interview that he knows nothing about the leaks. He only knows what we know, what Geekdom shared to the public, right? And plus, he also gets to see the actual character designs of these new beings. But this is what he had to say in terms of a potential Time Angel.
Hey, Goku's outfit was looking a little bit like Whis' outfit in that.
Oh, so you're saying you think he might be over them?
I don't know, maybe. it's getting kind of connected now that you showed the Time Gods of Destruction. Now that I know that that's a thing, and everybody was speculating, why is Goku's outfit, because you see his shoe, it looks like Whis' shoe. Goku could be the angel. That would be crazy, though.
It's just so like, I mean, I would be okay with it for the video game.
Yeah. It's a video game. It's Xenoverse, so it's like it's not impossible. But like that's
yeah, they can do anything. They can do anything. Video games can do anything.
This game might be insane.
Again, just another theory, nothing too serious. I believe he also said that this was more of a community theory that he probably saw somewhere online floating around. I actually haven't heard of this, but he brings up a good point that the shoes are somewhat similar to Whis' shoes. The color theme, white and black, that's pretty much it. But it's interesting how they haven't revealed Goku just yet. They did. Well, I guess they did tease them a little in the actual Age 1000s trailer, the very first one, but we haven't gotten this full-on character design reveal just yet. They did display all the other characters such as Krillin, Tien, Piccolo, Yamcha, Vegeta with the recent West City trailer, but we haven't seen Goku, and you can see his design is not going to be the standard, typical design, right? So now that we have the reveal of these Time God Destructions, will there be a Time Angel? And could Goku be that character? Because he has Ultra Instincts. I don't know. Most likely not. I don't think that's the case at all, but just wanted to bring that up. This is it for today's video. Let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about all this. I found it to be epic, and I'm looking forward to Xenoverse 3 even more now. It's going to be the best Dragon Ball game ever. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!